Bonjour, I'm here in Sainte-Anne on Martinique in the Caribbean Sea. For those who don't know me, my name is Martin and this is my Jambo, a Bavaria 34 holiday. I'm going to cruise across the Northern Atlantic back to Europe. I've been here on Anchorage for about 8 weeks. We had a lockdown situation here on the island because of the coronavirus. But I was quite glad that I stuck here and not on another island. It was quite good here. Supermarkets open, petrol station open, etc, etc. So it was not too bad. But now it's time to leave. It's overdue from my standpoint. So I had a lot of preparations during the week. I cleaned the underwater ship, the hull completely, was because a lot of stuff was growing there. Then obviously I bought drinking water, a lot of food, then also petrol here for the genset from Honda, which I will use during the cruise to generate some electricity, so also diesel. So I think I'm well prepared for that crossing. So the wind at the moment doesn't look too bad. Wind force 5 from east, and that will continue here over the next few days, and then further north there's a risk of no wind eventually, so we need to see how we manage that. Especially southwest of the Azores there's a band of no wind up to the British Islands, so let's see how we go through that, but it might change. So now I'm ready and very keen to leave, and now I'm leaving the anchor and leave Martinique. Jo, herzlichen Dank.
Gerne.
Bye bye, ciao.
Bye bye.
Now we are getting started. Ciao. Bye bye. Bye. Oh, was done? Stefan helped me getting the anchor up. That was very good. And now we're heading off. So that's it. Exciting moment, leaving the anchor after such a long time. So let's see how it goes. So great fun here, 5:04 at the moment. Yeah, waves not too bad, 2 to 3 meters. Great sailing. I know what I missed over the last few weeks. It's a little bit rough here because the water depth is not that great, because we are a little bit close to Martinique here at the moment. Hopefully we don't need another tag. Should work out, but running well so far. I'm sailing into the first night. Sunset is port side and Martinique as well. So we're cruising with a speed of roughly 7 knots. So running extremely well at the moment. Also we are sailing hard up the wind, and the waves are, the sea's a little bit rough because the water depth is still not that big, around 40 meters. I think it will take another couple of hours to get a few hundred meters under the keel, and then I expect getting it a little bit better. But so far so good. Everything is running well. So let's see how the night will be.
Good morning! The morning after the first night is usually the most difficult one. Also last night was not too bad. I could catch about 3 hours of sleep. At the moment the wind is around 20 knots when the boats are coming in. I have a little bit too much sail set, but yeah, let's see. The tendency is that the wind speed should decrease. We are doing reasonably good speed, around 7 knots. We have done 118, 119 nautical miles. There's a ferry passing us at the stern, and we have got a loop about 30 to 40 nautical miles at port side. Yeah, I'm not very well because I can feel all my muscles in my arms, my shoulders, my legs, because I'm not really fit. The reason for that is that I have been 8 weeks at Anchorage in a lockdown situation on Martinique, so I didn't do much, I couldn't move much. That's the reason for that. So the fitness level is terrible at the moment, and I need to be very careful because the risk of an injury is obviously far higher if you're not top fit. So I'm very careful. Let's see how it goes. So I think for the next couple of days we will have similar wind conditions from the east, 5 to 4, and then when you see, we are cruising between directly north and 10 degrees. So I think I have to reef now. Okay. I switch on the Honda genset. What a peaceful ocean. Big difference to what we had this morning, but now we have 4,000 meters water under the keel, so that makes a difference. Very calm, not so many waves coming over now. Really good. So we had also 2 dolphins visiting us, very nice. Yeah, at the moment I changed course slightly more to the north because the weather forecast for the next few days in the north shows that the wind will turn right. So that gives me the possibility then go a little bit more windward and keep a good angle to the wind and subsequently keep good speed in the boat. Yeah, we had a very good mileage for the first day, 156 nautical miles. That is fabulous for Jambo, one of the best mileages we achieved. So really great. So at the moment with a slightly changed course and also the wind speed has slightly reduced. We are cruising with about 6 to 6.5 knots, but that's fine. All good.
Yeah, there's a high near the Bermudas in northeast direction. So what I would like to do is passing that in the west and keep in a reasonable good wind zone, so I'm not going through the core, through the middle. Yeah, but let's see how it will develop over the next few days, and that is 6-7 days away. I'm also enjoying the warm weather that might change going further north. At least the weather forecast shows that the temperatures will be slightly lower, so great day. Oh, we're getting visitors here. Some birds are coming. Yeah, we are still close to the islands here. I think 50-60 nautical miles. Here in the west is Guadeloupe. Yeah, all good. Let's see how it goes.
The road ahead, it twists and turns, and the sun it beats down and it burns. But I keep on pushing through.
Second morning, bread is baking. I switched on the genset, put it a little bit more astern because of the smoke pollution and also of the noise, so it's a little bit better there. Yeah. I'm a little bit tired still.
'Cause I get up and I may fall right back down, but your love lifts me back to solid ground. Yeah, I get up and I may fall right back down, but your love lifts me back to solid ground. And oh, I've come too far in this to raise my flag and call it quits. So I keep on pushing through. Oh, with every step my heart it pounds. Yes, so sure I have my doubts, but I must keep pushing through.
I had good breakfast, the bread was nice, and afterwards had good sleep. We have now the second mileage for the second complete day, which is 138 nautical miles. The wind is about 4 before from southeast, so it turns slightly, and our course currently is 20 degrees roughly, still reasonable speed. And then I put those markers on the chart, and each marker has a weather forecast which I'm getting via the Garmin. Let's check this one here. That's a BM Bermuda minus 250 nautical miles for the Bermuda waypoint, let's put it this way. So what we can see here, at the moment the wind there is south 11 to 16 knots, and then at 1 o'clock tomorrow south 8 knots to 10 knots. So what we can see is that the wind keeps turning right, and also the wind speed is reducing. So let's see how that will go up there. We can't go too much to the east, not much wind there because of the highs. So let's see how we get through. But at the moment it's very nice sailing here. The sea is very calm, very enjoyable. So far so good.
I'm chasing down the reasons, answers for
It's evening again. Time is flying by that fast. Yeah, sunset behind the clouds over there. Has been a great sailing day. And now we are getting, in the evening, we're getting even a little bit more wind, which is very much appreciated. What I will do over the next few days, finding my rhythm. From a sleeping standpoint, it's not too bad. It was quite good last night, but the fitness level is terrible. Oh my goodness, it pains all and muscle soak. But now I'm looking forward to my bed. All good so far.
Running well. Jambo and I have done 664 nautical miles over the last 5 days. We are on northern course. The wind is blowing from the east, sometimes a little bit more north-northeast, sometimes a little bit more east-southeast. So all not too bad at the moment. Conditions are okay. I found my rhythm over the last 5 days. My fitness level is rising as well, so the muscles are not paining as much as before. That's very good. So basically the day starts in the morning when the sunrise is close, so when it's getting lighter. Then I'm switching on my Honda genset, which is running extremely well, so I leveled it out a little bit with those pieces of wood, which I have on board for various reasons. You never know what needs to be fixed, and you need a piece of wood, so that's the reason why I have those materials here on board. So yes, I leveled it a little bit that it can run under those conditions. So then actually I have my first coffee in the morning, then I have my pre-breakfast sleep, then I have breakfast around 8. And then after breakfast I sleep again, so I'm sleeping a lot. And I'll show you in a bit where I've been sleeping over the last few days. So then lunchtime, eat something after lunch, I have another little sleep for 1 hour. And then I'm doing the navigation, getting all the weather forecasts. Yeah, and then in the evening I start sleeping after sunset in intervals up to 3 hours. We had actually 2 ships over the last 3 days. Conditions during the night, from a weather standpoint, also not too bad. Sometimes I have a squall. I can see that easily on the radar screen, which is very helpful. So from time to time I check it. Yeah, then I load the batteries in the evening again, then at midnight again, and then obviously in the morning at sunrise. Yeah, that's how the day is running here. Time is flying by very fast. So that's the place where I'm sleeping. So I have my logbook, my remote control, very important for me, so if during the night something is happening, I can quickly change course without getting up. Yeah, here I have the upholstery stored, so if I go on the other side and drive attacks, then obviously I would change my little bed to this side. Yeah, in the other cabin there's not much. So here I have fresh water, drinking water and some other drinks stored, because that is about 200 kilograms and that would be too much weight in the stern cabin, so I decided to put it here for balance reasons. Obviously that will change over the next couple of weeks. When the fresh water will be consumed, then I will fill that in the inboard water tank. But that seems to work well.
All running well. I'm extremely pleased. Jambo and I have about 1,000 nautical miles behind. 8 days on sea. In the beginning we could enjoy the trade wind blowing quite strongly, giving us good mileages. Over the last few days we are here in that low wind zone, I would say. So there's the high from the Azores to the Bermudas, which is almost ending here. So the calmer zones are in the east, so we're a little bit in between the calm zones and the wind zone, but not running too bad. Around 3 before, giving us reasonable speed. That's the advantage of a smaller boat. So even with 3 before, we travel between 4 and 5 knots. I try to relax a lot and get more fit, because in the beginning it was quite hard, but now it's much better. Because the harder days will come. I guess that we are going to leave this zone probably sometimes tomorrow and get a little bit more wind from southwest eventually. At least that's what the weather forecast is telling me at the moment. We started in Martinique on 14 degrees latitude north, and now we are above 29 degrees latitude north, so that's about 15 degrees we made so far. And also I feel that with the temperature it's not that warm as it has been in the Caribbean Sea. Usually during the day we had 30+ degrees down there in the salon, and now it's getting down in the morning to 25 degrees. A little bit chilly for me, because I had 4 months around 30 degrees, so it's quite unusual. But I guess I will get used to that pretty soon. No, all fine. It's running well. Electrical power supply running well. I switch it on in the evening, then once during the night, and then in the morning. But the days are getting longer now. Probably in a few weeks time it might be sufficient switching it on twice during the night. We will see.
Lies is such a simple word, and us is much more than you heard. 2 little letters come together and then loneliness is cured. Yeah.
Jambo and I are now 11 days on sea. We have about 1,340 nautical miles behind. Over the last few days we had to keep on 30 degrees north latitude because of the little storm over there, the depression, which is called Asa. We had been advised by all the weather gurus in Germany not to go too much north, and I think that was a good decision. So we could enjoy very good wind from southwest. Over the last few days I had the foresail beam in, but had to take it out this morning because the wind was going up to wind force 6, so I took it out. And then lucky me, half an hour later we had 30 knots wind, but now it's wind force 4. So the rain is coming from astern as well, and we have it at port side, so I don't think that we can prevent it. So what I will expect over the next few days, that we get strong wind from northeast around 30 knots. We actually are in the eye of the depression. It's raining now, yeah, that was expected. The wind is now coming from north. I think we are getting out of the eye of the depression, collecting some water. So I hope that we find the stable northeast wind. Also conditions might be a little bit hard. First little drama, the Genoa is gone. So when I was setting it, it didn't get free. So on one of the steps, and then it smashed. Ah, yeah, damned. Not good. Not good. So I've changed the Genoa, which is not that easy under those conditions, but it wasn't that bad as it is now. It was a little bit easier. It took me 45 minutes, but what a pity, losing like 50% of my foresails. Wind at the moment here around 20 knots. I don't think I have too much sail, but the list is quite strong, 25 degrees. And that's only the beginning, because the wind goes up to 30 knots, at the moment 20 as I said. So I might need to reef the sails again. At least I gained some water here. I'm so upset with myself because of the Genoa. Anyway, so the other one is a better one, a little bit stronger. Let's keep fingers crossed that lasts. We are about 32 north and 55 west. We are still battling a little bit with the rest of that depression called Asa. So wind is from northeast. Yesterday was blowing up to 32 knots and waves were very steep, up to 5 meters. So a lot of water came over. But today it's much better, I would say. So the wave height, I would guess up to 4 meters. They're much better because they are much longer and not as steep as yesterday. And actually this morning I had to change course for a buoy in the middle of the ocean. unbelievable. I was not drifting, it was really fixed, so you could see it, that the waves were going through. I didn't expect that.
What do I believe in? I don't think I know anymore. Tell me there's a reason. Was there ever anything more? Have I been afraid to find what I've been looking for?
Great morning, no wind, but it was planned. I'm on the engine now since yesterday 11 o'clock, that is about 17 hours, something like that. So, and I guess we need another 10. The wind is actually trying, at least it goes up to 4 knots at some point of time. But the direction is not good. What I'm expecting is getting west-northwest, about 50 nautical miles north, and then set the sails, sail northeast, and then at some point of time tomorrow I'm expecting finding northeast wind, and then I'm taking against that, hard at the wind towards north, and then at some point in the north I should find the westerly winds, and then I sail with them further to east, northeast, something like that. So that's the plan. We'll see. Some dolphins head around this morning as well. Very nice. We are between 33 and 34 north and have done about 1,650 nautical miles. Yeah, let's see if the plans work out, but first of all, continue enjoying my coffee. Refilling the diesel, probably 3 of those I can fill in. What we also can see is where is no wind, because the water is very flat, and here are a little bit more waves, so a little bit wind, so we can see where the wind is. We are under sails since a couple of hours, cruising east-northeast. We have about 6 to 8 knots wind. The core or the center of the high is the direction, so in principle we are on the right course, escaping. But on the other hand, in that direction there are many other highs, so I think we need to go north at some point of time when we have the right wind for that. Beautiful sunset at the moment here. Ah, great.
Let's sail as far as we can, chase our dreams as long as we can. We'll see this world through our eyes of forever.
Jambo and I have done 2000 nautical miles, a little bit more. After the last low wind zone, I think it took us 30 hours to get through. The wind was blowing with 5 up to 20 knots. From northeast we drove westerly because we couldn't go north because of that high, and I didn't want to travel under engine for 30 hours again because diesel is limited here on board. That's probably the most limited resource. So what we did is driving to the west and now to the north. Actually Nova Scotia is about that direction, 500 nautical miles. Haven't expected getting that close to the US coast, but it is what it is. It seems to be the best course because in the east, low wind zones, massive highs, so it's difficult to get through. We are about 39 degrees latitude north. I'm probably going up to 40. Haven't decided where I will stop, or if I stop there, or if I cruise through. I don't know exactly, so it's not necessary to decide it now, so I will go the direction. Actually, the way north of Great Britain is a little bit shorter than the way south of Great Britain through the English Channel. I would do the northern route, but it could be quite hard there because if there is a low running through, then wind speed is quite high, so that might be too rough. All good. I'm still enjoying this cruise. If you have the right amount of optimism, motivation and fun, then this is a great cruise. I'm on sea, under sails. All is fine so far. So let's see how we manage the rest. Great day so far, good sailing wind, 504 from west-southwest, our course is northeast, so good speed at the moment, all fine. It's now 19 days on sea, a little bit more than 2,200 nautical miles are done. Actually Newfoundland is that direction only 350 nautical miles away. I haven't expected that when I started. The next high is coming from the Bermudas and moving north. Haven't finally decided what is the right strategy to handle that. Either going a little bit more to the west, which I don't like. If it is moving with the same speed as it does now with 200 nautical miles per day, then I just let it go through and wait a day and then carry on to the east. Because we cannot cruise north in eternity. We are too far to the northwest from my standpoint, but we have been diverted by the wind and by all the highs. So at some point of time we need to cross the ocean to the east. On the other hand, if we go further north, obviously the distance between west and east is getting shorter. Yeah, let's see how it goes. It's increasing, the wind is increasing. Probably I need to take the mainsail in and just let it run with the Genoa. I've seen 20 knots, but I'm pleased that we have wind, because last night I stuck, I think, 60 nautical miles further south when the wind disappeared, and then I decided to go north finding the wind, which I successfully did. So far so good. I'm enjoying the day. Obviously no long trousers today. It's nice, warm and sunny. Good wind. All fine. Good morning! Yeah, it's foggy outside, not very clear, probably visibility of 200 meters. So it started yesterday, prior to the sunset. It's also very chilly this morning, so first time that I need a little jacket. Okay, long trousers since a few more days. The reason for that is that we are getting further north and almost at 43 degrees north. I'm running the Honda genset outside and I try to warm up the cabin here with my little heater. Yeah, but first of all, coffee. When it's outside misty and foggy, you stay inside, and that's what I'm doing here as well. At the moment we are about 43 north latitude and 49 west longitude. So here we see 280 nautical miles to Newfoundland, and also where you see the depth line close together, there are the Grand Banks. So at the moment we are cruising to the east. All the dots here, the blue ones, green, orange and red, are special points for me. Most of them are weather points I'm checking. The orange ones with the anchor in the middle, that is a line where the core of the high is moving at the moment, so we are west of that, and I expect that this moves through sometimes during the day. So how far is it to Europe, to the English Channel? About 1,900. To south of Ireland 1,700, and actually north of Scotland 1,800 and something. So actually north of Scotland is a little bit closer than going through the English Channel at the moment, but when you'll see. This is now the pilot chart of the North Atlantic Ocean for June, and we are about 43 north and 49 west, as we said, and that is nearby this point. So those are the traditional routes from the east coast of the US to Europe, one in the far north, going north of Scotland, then one here to Ireland, and then a few here to the English Channel. So this red line here is the mean maximum iceberg limit, and we are actually in the zone where icebergs are reported. I got some information via the Garmin, Actually, I'm in contact with so many people and getting so much help and useful information. That's absolutely fantastic. And Greg sent me a report from the US Coast Guard, and they say that the icebergs are going exactly down to that line, to the mean maximum iceberg limit. So we are in that. So we need to be a little bit careful. I have the radar running since yesterday and have some guard zones there with alarm, but we can have a look at that now. What we see here is a radar screen with two guard zones. One is 1.2 nautical miles to 3.2 nautical miles, the other one 4.6 to 6.2 nautical miles. And this is connected with an alarm buzzer, which means if an object is confirmed in those zones, not if it appears once, then the alarm goes on. Obviously only the bigger ones can be detected, the smaller ones would not be detected, but it also depends a little bit on the wave heights. Let's see how that works, or let's say hopefully we don't see any iceberg or detect one. I'm really enjoying it here, and I have the necessary devices here, my two iPads. On one I have the chart with the Navionics app, on the other hand I can check the chart plotter, and when I'm during the night in my cabin I have my remote control there as well, so I don't need to get up, just checking everything. When I wake up, obviously I'm putting the alarm clock on and do interval sleeping. I feel that well here, it's great, nice environment, and I think that's important, that you feel well. I have my little comfort with a coffee maker over there. I bake my bread every third day, I cook nice dishes for me, so I keep me well. Because it's important on such a long cruise. On the other hand, I feel like home here. Jambo is my home. It's nice and cozy, nice cabinets above, so all good. And also getting many information via the Garmin device, as I said, from Greg, the report of the US Coast Guard on the iceberg situation, but great support from so many people I don't know, sending me various information, very helpful on the weather, and so everybody is bothered and takes care about me, and great thank you to everyone sending me messages and wishing me all the best. Yeah, great fun so far. Let's see how it goes. Haven't finally decided which route I take to Europe. It might be that I need to go up a little bit more north. I need to be careful with the icebergs on the other side. So I'm cruising between the low wind zones and the icebergs and try to find my way home. Yeah, let's see how it goes.
Where you been, darling? Chasing after God in a wayward cars. Time to get started. I can hear the echoes from where you are. All you got is breaking. It's hard to feel the ground underneath your feet.
Super cruise so far, great day. Sun is shining, wind from southeast, 4 to 5 Beaufort. So we are currently half wind and cruising north-northeast, because port side that direction, starboard that direction, there are low wind zones. Actually, where we are heading to is also a zone with lower wind, but that's the only way to get out here. Very challenging from a navigational standpoint, understanding the systems here. So basically over the whole time we were battling with highs and low wind zones. So actually yes, we had one tropical storm, Asa, but that was the only one. Apart from that it's just using the highs. And what I'm trying to do is keep here on the west side of that high, and there's another hike coming from the north, and then jump on that and go with southwest wind further to the east. So I think predominantly I had easterly winds. Even here in the west wind zone I have easterly wind. It's a little bit crazy. I'm not sure why that is, but at the moment too many low wind zones to the east towards the Azores. Very difficult to get through, so that is forcing us to go a lot north. Yeah, but it's great fun. I'm enjoying it. So I'm now 24 days on sea. I had to check it first, because I'm sometimes struggling a little bit with counting the days, but also have my log file and put everything in there which is needed. So I'm not that good on those things, I have to admit. Yeah, but at least the daily mileage I get together. Yeah, 2,900 nautical miles. I think we have done more than the half, so I expect that we have more miles done than ahead of us. From a time standpoint, I'm not sure. It's difficult to predict. If you sit in a low wind zone for a couple of days or 3 days, and then obviously it will be longer, but I expect that it should be less than 24 days. So we are at the moment here on those traditional routes from the east coast of the US to Great Britain. I still haven't finally decided if I go the northern route or the southern route, either through the Strait of Dover back home. I think it will be a non-stop cruise now. At the moment I'm managing all the resources very well. My generator is doing a fantastic job, that is key. Sometimes it's a little bit tricky to get the fuel in, but I think I managed that as well. So no problem, I have enough fuel. I think that will last for 24, 25, 26 days, so probably 30. 30 should be good, yeah. Not much to add. Not much wind at the moment. Since yesterday, 9 knots southwest, and we are half wind, downwind, so that's not enough to make good speed. Sometimes the sails are flattering. That's not very good because it is damaging them. Actually, I have already a little problem with the Genoa, where the ring is and the lines are connected. So one of the tapes is deteriorating at the moment. I was sailing with the foresail beam, and it's the reason, so I can't do that anymore. And that's my second Genoa. Actually, it's the first one, it's a better one, but the other one was damaged 2,000 miles ago, so this one needs to last until the end. Has now done on this journey 2,000 miles. I had a repair actually exactly on that point to get the ring done. I think they have done a good job in Nelson's dockyard on Antigua. It doesn't look too bad. So we are now I think 26 days or 27, I don't know. We have roughly
almost 3,300 nautical miles done. Jambo is more than 600 miles east of Newfoundland, which is also very good. Haven't finally decided which way I'm going to cruise, but I think it's very likely that I cruise north of Scotland and then into the North Sea and then to Germany. That is 2,000 nautical miles, I guess. Direct distance is less, so we are likely ending up with more than 5,000 nautical miles if everything goes alright and I make it. Yeah, but I'm optimistic I will make it. So the problem is those days with no wind or low wind, they're not good for the moods. I don't like it. The wind will come, but the weather forecast is postponing that. Now the wind should come tomorrow. Hopefully that's the case, so yeah, not very good. Yeah, with the Genoa, as I said, I need to be very careful with it. On the other hand, I have another mainsail, and I already measured if that would fit into the forelegs as well. It looks like at least it's a similar diameter, but the shape looks a little bit differently. So I don't know. So if that Genoa breaks down, actually I have almost no problem with the mainsail, and I'm not bothered about that. So actually, if the Genoa breaks down, I try to fit it into the forelegs. If that doesn't work, then I have it running free flying, so connected at the top and at the bottom, and then tighten it and have it free flying. So that's a worst case scenario. So I don't think it will happen. If I'm careful with my Genoa, I should make it with it. Yeah. What about the rest? I think I'm fine with drinking water and food. That should last for 30 plus days. I'm also fine with the fuel for the generator, which is actually doing a very good job. That's a good option, because with the capacity of the solar panels is not sufficient. And also the days are getting longer. That's positive on one hand. On the other hand, it's the last few days overcast, and then that hurts. Oh, not very good. You can better have wind force 6 or 7 and have some tide. That is creating less damage than this one here when they flitter, and it's not good. So that is actually running very well. So when it's overcast, and it's only half of the performance. So today a little bit blue sky, but where we are heading to, I see the clouds again. Actually, I could collect some further rain, and also use the opportunity yesterday to fill up the water into the inboard water tank. Diesel, I have used 80 liters and have left 180 liters, so we can't use the engine going through the low wind zones. Yeah, we need to sail. But on the other hand, Jambo is a light boat and is performing not too bad with light wind, but it needs to be the right angle to the apparent wind. So downwind with 9 knots is not that good as we see. So actually I'm half wind, between half wind and a little bit downwind. So yeah, I'm waiting for the wind. Let's keep fingers crossed. Good morning! Yeah, the sea is a little bit rough. Current against the waves. Not very nice. And we are sailing downwind at the moment, 6 before. And I've just the Genoa out. And Jambo is rolling a little bit, which is a little bit inconvenient. But on such cruises you have those days as well. And that also needs to be managed. So far so good. So we are actually 29 days on sea, and it will be, when you finish that day, about 3,500 nautical miles, a little bit less. I've decided to go via Scotland to the North Sea. That is about 800 nautical miles to the Ruckle Trough, which is southwest of the Hebrides. And then from there it's probably another 900 nautical miles to Germany, probably Helgoland. That would be a nice destination. Haven't finally decided on that. It's a little bit chilly, actually. So at the moment 19 degrees. It has been worse before, so not too bad. Thanks to the Gulf Stream. That's helping. So I try to manage the cold as best as possible. Actually, my heating system had a breakdown in December prior to the departure from Lanzarote to the Caribbean islands, so there was no chance to get that repaired. And I have a little small electrical heater which I'm using if it gets really bad. So at the moment I manage like that, and I also spend a lot of time in my bed to keep me warm. Now I have breakfast and then a little nap again.
God, let me fly like a bird in the sky. Don't let me fall down again. Oh, God, let me fly like a bird in the sky. Don't let me fall like this again.
Well, so we are about 700 nautical miles further up the Atlantic Ocean. We are 250 nautical miles away from the Hebrides, the islands near Scotland, which is very good. I am now 5 weeks on sea. A very interesting experience. Yeah, it's cold as well. So we are sailing upwind, easterly coast, 4 to 5 before at the moment. And we obviously need a little bit more north to get to the Orkney Islands. So if everything goes well, we could be in 4 days at the Orkneys, and then further 4 or 5 days on the island Helgoland. That is the final destination. Yeah, let's keep fingers crossed. Yeah, apart from that, the weather was a little bit changeable over the last few days. One day we had thick fog, and then the waves came from port side out of the fog wall, went through Jambo and disappeared starboard. It's a fog wall, quite surreal. Sometimes seagull likes to sit on the solar panels. Unfortunately, I don't like that. First of all, the panels don't produce the energy they should, and then on the other hand, they leave what they have eaten before. I don't like that. I'm really looking forward to the arrival after 5 weeks So it will be definitely six weeks plus. But let's see. The good thing is, when I will have passed the Orkney Islands and cruising south, it will get a little bit warmer. Oh well.
In the sky, don't let me fall like this again.
So I'm now here at every day is the east of me. I have about 30 nautical miles to the northern peak, and I guess I can sail up to that point and afterwards eventually the engine. I saw land, that was great, but the real great feeling you get in modern times when you have mobile phone coverage and mobile data. So I'm over the moon at the moment. Oh yeah, the AIS is giving a warning signal, so there must be a ship somewhere, but at the moment I don't see one. So, and this is a weather dock alarm which starts warning 30 minutes prior ship is coming 1,000 meters or closer. That means I have half an hour time, so no worries. Yeah, so far so good. 4,500 nautical miles done. I think another 600 to Helgoland, that's the final destination. So I will cruise by the northern coast of Scotland and then either through the Pentland Firth or Little Eddy. Those are famous for high currents. I think Pentland Firth up to 10 knots. The circumstances are not too bad. I think I have a good timing, might arrive there with a little current against me, drive in, and then when I'm getting out with the current. So the classical strategy for those situations when you don't know exactly what you can expect. So the Little Eddy looks a little bit easier on the chart. There are turbulences and breaking waves, so I need to be careful, but the good thing is I can do it in daylight. Yeah, apart from that, everything is cool. I'm very pleased. Yeah, now let's get the final 600 or 650 nautical miles done. I just had a fire on board. I was running the little heater here to keep it warm under deck. And yes, of course, there are high currents running, I think 125 amperes, but the system is made for that. The problem was the main switch between the batteries and the inverter that started to burn. So I used, I don't know what's the English word, a fire sheet and put it on, and a lot of smoke in the salon. So the classical scenario, you can't get to the fire because of the smoke and you bring yourself under risk. But fortunately I could put out the fire. We have about 10 nautical miles to Outer Sound. That's the area before the Pentland Firth. I think from there it's another 2 to 3 miles to the Pentland Firth. Not quite sure if I take that or the Little Eddy. Depends a little bit on the conditions. I have a chance to see that because on the chart there's an area before the Outer Sound which shows tidal rips, so I will see how that goes. But on the other hand, it's no wind. So if a little bit swell, apart from that, it's really good. So from that standpoint, conditions are alright. Island of Stroma ahead. The current is turning. Now going south, and at starboard it's the northern coast of Scotland. Yeah, there's a freight ship, so we both take care. I will stay at the hill now, because it's very tricky, probably for the next couple of hours, depends how fast we are. But it's nice outside as well. Sun is shining. I can't remember when it was last time. I think I had it overcast and foggy for quite a while. That looks great, very picturesque. Wow. Little waves due to the tides, and then very calm. Now from one moment to the other, fog. Thick fog. Probably I can see 30 meters, and then water drops coming from the rig. We've made it. We are through the Pentland Firth. Obviously the timing was very good and very conservative. Maximum current was 2 knots. And then this thick fog. Now it's a little bit better, but no wind. So I keep going on the engine for the moment, as long as necessary. As soon as there is a little breeze. You can see something on the water, a little bit over there. Have a look. Yeah. There's a mini wind field, obviously not enough for sailing. Yeah, okay, so yeah, let's see how it goes.
Too many days in the darkness without a glimpse of the light. Running tired and
Great fun here. We're in the middle of the North Sea. Sun is out, blue sky. Can't remember when I had the sunglasses on. Ages ago, from my standpoint. We have about 220 nautical miles left to Helgoland. That's a direct destination. We obviously need a little bit more because we are driving like a snake, so usually we have more miles. At the moment the engine is running, but I have the mainsail up as well, because the wind is coming slightly from starboard. It is expected to turn further and should be in 2, 3, 4 hours coming from south, and then I can switch the engine off, get the Genoa out, and then hopefully I can sail more or less directly on direct course to Helgoland. I have enough diesel still. Actually I had 260 liters when I started, and I used half of that on the Atlantic Ocean, and the other half I can use now from Scotland down here via the North Sea to Helgoland, which is from my standpoint the right strategy, keeping the reserves up as long as possible, but now I can consume it.
believe that it was worth one more try. With every star,
It's running!
we are born again. Open your heart and spend less time in your head.
On the home stretch, the final 120, 130 nautical miles. Tomorrow I will arrive. Unbelievable. So great, the sun is shining. Helgoland is ahead, only a few miles. We are under sails, probably for another few miles, so let's see, and then I switch the engine on. So I need to put the fenders out. I think it was March last time when I was in the marina on Saint Martin. But from that, only anchorages. Slightly strange feeling coming back, because I've been living on the boat for almost 6 months now, and now that is over. So yeah, not completely over, so I will have a few weeks afterwards, but yeah, strange feeling, so let's see how it goes. Great feeling to see the island Helgoland. Very colorful for me.
Herzlich willkommen in Helgoland, herzlich willkommen in Deutschland.
Herzlichen Dank. Toller Empfang. I'm now approaching the Südhafen of Helgoland. I've made it. All worked out very well. I'm now in the Südhafen of Helgoland. Beautiful weather. So actually I was 42 days on sea, 5,130 nautical miles. Everything was good. A few little mistakes, but nothing too big. But now the well-deserved beer for the successful mooring. Yeah, Caribbean beer on a German island. I think that's quite unique. Cheers. Wow, really good. So I think I will take a rest, sleep, and then I will come back with a little resume as well. Ah, the beer is great. Cheers. I'm back on sea. I had 3 lovely days on Helgoland. I could relax, walking a little bit, that was very important for me. Going out for dinner in the evenings. Yeah, but what a cruise. 42 days, 5,130 nautical miles. Actually, I crossed 44 latitudes, so coming from 14.5 north in Martinique, and then the most northern point was 58.5 degrees north of Scotland. Jambo did a fantastic job, faultless. I had 2 mistakes. First of all, damaging the Genoa after 1,000 nautical miles, and secondly, I have to take the point for the fire as well. So I guess I slightly overloaded the system. Also was okay for that current, but yeah, at the end of the day there was a fire, so I have to take that point. So what are the plans for next year? Even bigger than what I have sailed this year. Definitely I want to sail to the Azores and then sail around the islands there with anchor, because we couldn't do it this year. And then not to the Caribbean Sea, further south. Yeah, let's see how that goes. That's very exciting, but I have a lot of work on board. I have a long list with some bigger items which need to be done here, but also long list with smaller things which I would like to change here. Yeah, that will be done over the winter. Now let's see. But now I'm looking forward to 3 weeks here in the Netherlands, in so-called Zeeland. I haven't been there, so Anke will visit me as well. Yeah, now I'm continuing to enjoy this little cruise. Yeah, it's a 2-day cruise actually, 240 nautic miles. Yeah, for me it's a little now in comparison what I have sailed before. I'm looking forward to that. So, see you.